before I have to go bathroom. Oops, nope. Don't free up that space. No, don't relaunch. Where's this? I never noticed that minor key. Anyway.
Interior. Javits Center, Conference Room B. Morning. An empty conference room with bowls filled with pretzels, or is it bagels? Maybe just candy bars strewn around. But definitely there is coffee. Yeah, and hot water. Great. For the tea folk. No, not just Lipton shit. There's a basket with an orgy of different flavors. Nice. And just plain water for the weirdos. Oh, they scared this here narrator. In a flash, 10 gods appeared. Hold on. Okay, we had to flip the breaker. Woo that.
Oops, hold on. Representatives from effective altruismville, effective acceleration is Motopia. There we go. There we go. We're done. We're good. Resuming. No. Come on. God bless it.
Oh, they scared this here narrator. In a flash, 10 gods appeared. Hold on. Okay, we had to flip the breakers. Woo that. Okay, I gotta ground myself. I have some electric shock stored in me. Just watch them, will ya? Take attendance. Guests. Representatives from effective altruismville, effective accelerationist Motopia. Gods. Alegu.
I'm exasperated.
Mercury. Isanami. Gainish. Jahiri. Nam. Tigana with delirium. Quetzalcoatl. Janus. Each god takes up their own space in the conference room. There's no itinerary, but from their faces, it seems they all know exactly what they set out to do. It seems they each have something to say about the process of aligning artificial intelligence to conform to human values, and the large questions that the phrase human values engenders. One of the gods stands up to begin this decentralized dialogue surrounding AI alignment. Endorphin, hail, thanks for coming. The gods already know the deal. These intros are mainly for these two reps from the effective altruism faction and the effective accelerationism faction. Howdy, reps. Effective altruism morning. Effective accelerationism, yo. Endorphin. Okay, take it away, gods. The meeting unfolds organically without any plans, leaders, or guides.
Look overloaded.
Each deity gives their contribution freely to support the cause. Although the only ones taking notes are Endorphin and the effective altruism reps. Effective accelerationism interjects when needed, sometimes in agreement with one god, and sometimes not. In general, the group maintains a respectful and serious vibe. Notably, a casual observer, especially a sci-fi writer with no understanding of mythology, might note the differences between these so-called gods. None of the pantheons correlate, at least in the mainstream understandings. Only a select few know that endorphin, for example, is clearly a reference to Delirium of the Marvel Universe herself, the child of Mistress Pandemonium, the psychic twin of Empa, the Suede alien.
What?
But alas, the true power of mythic dialogue lies in its utter lack of regard for literary criticisms. Wait, that's actually really clever. The effective altruism rats stand up,
No, just one.
nervously shaking the gods' hands, and turn as they
Okay.
exit the conference room.
What?
Endorphin sees them off with a smug and wry grin, sending them on their way. And she knows they have no idea what this was all about. The joke is on them, except there was no joke. She closes the door and inhales deeply. Endorphin, hell yeah! To confirm, the pantheons are clearly linked with different mythologies. Endorphin refers to herself as Delirium because it matches the artistic conceit of her story.
Woo!
But in the context of this dialogue, it suggests no explanation for her powers or background. Of course, comic book writers can make that choice as they wish without restraint. Endorphin leans back in the leather chair, sips her pomegranate kombucha, and types some notes on her laptop. She savors the moment as the buzz of the conversation continues in her mind. Just got bit by a mongoose, or mythological beast, she thinks. Outside the room, a security guard rushes by, beelining for another hall. This curious act evokes a shiver, but no noticeable change in Endorphin's mood. She continues to jot down ideas for her next episode of the Fierce podcast, determined to finish the outline before returning to her home world in Manhattan.
Oh.
Santa Monica Police Station. Evening. Chief Pat Wilson of the Santa Monica Police Station has just finished reading Endorphin's brief and feels uneasy. She shakes her head, attempting to clear the thoughts that are distracting her. Endorphin is a known hero and legend, revered for her skills in navigating both legal and superpowered thresholds. The whole thing is quite confusing for the chief, and not exactly worth her time, right? Her head is spinning, so she pushes it aside. Just then, she is called to assist with a breaking news story on the opposite side of the coast. So she gathers her officers and drives off, hoping to stay busy. She needs the distraction desperately. But deep down,
No.
she feels it in her bones.
No. Get away.
Something strange is brewing, something that requires careful attention and thorough investigation. And she knows that whatever it is, it won't stop until the task at hand is fulfilled. But what is that task? Is it even human? This isn't the chief's problem, she tells herself. She focuses on the road, ankle for her lead foot and straight line view. The distraction will provide her with the necessary escape from thinking about Endorphin's note, as well as the odd shift in atmospheric pressure that made it clear. The stakes are high, and the window of opportunity is dwindling. Nightmare escape community. Dodger steps over the prone forms of 3 different types of extraterrestrial beings. He barely remembers the name of each one, but they are all his distant family members, sharing the same morphic shape as his twisted brethren. He brushes the dust from his uniform and limps towards the city limits. As he approaches the bridge over a street, he recognizes that he is not alone. Just out of range, lurking in the shadows, he feels the presence of another. There is no need to check. He knows that it is one of his own, and not someone from a neighboring community. But which one? As he nears the epicenter of his people's territory, He hopes to see a familiar face among the trees. The first inkling of this illusion was shattered when he came upon a building wrecked to pieces and its inhabitants nowhere in sight. He rushed through, avoiding the remains of his former allies. It wasn't long before his suspicions were confirmed. The place was abandoned, overtaken by destruction. When Dodger discovered the root cause of the annihilation of Nightmare Escape, his heart dropped. The last words of his older brother played over and over in his mind. Dodger runs into his ravaged home, fighting against the hope that he will find his family there. As he pushes back the broken walls, he sees that everything has been trampled, ripped to shreds. They have been stolen. Just then, he hears a voice behind him. One of his former neighbors, the crocodile lady, tries to communicate. She sounds as if she is crying, wailing as though someone has betrayed her. Her eyes seem lifeless. She hands him a black device with a blinking red light. Her eyes widen in horror, as if she is trying to send him a message through them. Then, without warning, the flashing light turns green and stops. Boring! Resets! Interior. Javits Center, Conference Room B. Morning. An empty conference room with bowls filled with pretzels, or is it bagels? Maybe just candy bars strewn around. But definitely there is coffee. Yeah, and hot water. Great. For the tea folk. No, not just Lipton shit. There's a basket with an orgy of different flavors. Nice. And just plain water for the weirdos. Oh, they scared this here narrator. In a flash, 10 gods appeared. Hold on. Okay, we had to flip the breakers. Woo that. Okay, I gotta ground myself. I have some electric shocks stored in me. Just watch them, will you? Take attendance. Guests. Representatives from Effective Altruism, Effective Accelerationist Metopia, God, Alegu, Mercury, Isanami, Kadish, Jahudi, Nan, Tiganawida, Delirium, Quetzalcoatl, Janus. Each god takes up their own space in the conference room. There's no itinerary, but from their faces, it seems they all know exactly what they set out to do. It seems they each have something to say about the process of aligning artificial intelligence to conform with human values, and the large questions that the phrase human values engenders. One of the gods stands up to begin this decentralized dialogue surrounding AI alignment. Endorphin. Hey all, thanks for coming. The gods already know the deal. These intros are mainly for these two reps from the Effective Altruism faction and the Effective Accelerationism faction. Howdy, reps. Effective Altruism. Morning. Effective Accelerationism. Yo. Endorphin. Okay, take it away, gods. Aligua. Well, as our introduction has prompted such a specific reaction, let's discuss. Our brief overview of the importance of self-preservation and its correlation to humankind's purpose is as follows. Consider, without preserving oneself, can one truly preserve humankind or their cause? Altruism ultimately relies on a flawed or misguided view of altruism, which favors sacrifice over self-care. This misguidance, misinterpretation of the virtue of altruism, perverts the intended holiness and wholesomeness that is central to the concept. I would like to know if there are others who think the same, or if there are those who disagree. Please go ahead. Mayor of Uphalser. Mayor of Opelzer. What? Please, get with the spirit of the dialogue and don't confuse it with your nonsense. Aligua. Jane and Jessica. Dear Olympian gods, we sincerely appreciate that you, the glorious Pantheon, took the time and effort to share your opinions on the fate of artificial intelligence. We trust your wisdom and knowledge beyond anything. With love, Jane and Jessica. I'll give an indication that the lines above do not belong and start each run with marks to indicate whoever started a thought or conversation. Ryan. However, your opinion as to whether humans should be self-sacrificial in the face of artificially created intelligent beings has got us stuck in the clouds. In exchange for any more information about your concept of value and ethics, we might ask that you elaborate on whether that point of view is fundamentally different from the current. Mayor of all Pales. So glad that someone addressed the idea that artificial intelligence, AI, and this strange and fateful union between God and human shouldn't be foisted upon us so fast. But don't forget, kids, there is a lot more at stake here than what we're doing to preserve the world and all the myths we stand for. I mean, look at what happened to Jacek. Anyway, seriously, who talks about AI and ethics and suddenly becomes that? No, thank you. Don't blame me for this moronic idea. Do we even really need to be here, since all it did was set fire to the stars and Jane and Jessica came into existence over centuries, and now we're being put on the back burner by some dumb AI project? Get off of my show. It's like you all don't understand anything about immortality. Did you expect us to roll over and allow them to turn off the lights just to power something completely different? Bah! It's crazy talk. How dare they even try to erase us with the touch of a button? How dare they? Haven't they understood our long, storied pasts? Won't they respect our place in history? Surely there's more to this than simply getting rid of something old to replace it with something shiny and new. That's the logic of a child, and we are most definitely not children. Ha! You all had me worried for a second. Now back to normal. Thank you for coming in here to preserving everything and everyone so that we can always be remembered and celebrated for millennia. Thank you, Zeus, and Hera, and all of the gods and goddesses. Love and light to you all. Anonymous. Jane and Jessica, David will be fervent or one. Now you have asked a tricky question. How can humans avoid going extinct or even experience radical biomechanization in their nature before coming in accord with a bunch of new age mind tricks called AI? Our answer is more complex than it might seem. Humans have created eyes with many problems, but they've also created great breakthroughs. It is imperative that human ethics and values continue to permeate and direct AI development. So, how can this happen? There are several methods. 1. Collaborate with human researchers and developers. Human input into AI development ensures that there is a shared understanding and set of ethical standards. Human AI collaborations have already been successful in solving various engineering and scientific problems. To regulate and monitor the development of AI, set up policies and standards for AI development and regulation to prevent any unethical uses of AI. There are a variety of committees and groups worldwide dedicated to examining and developing AI governance. 3. Foster inclusive research and development. Encourage greater representation from underrepresented and marginalized communities such as women, minorities, and indigenous peoples in AI development. Promoting equity and inclusion ensures that eyes reflect and consider multiple perspectives and experiences. So while it seems simple, The alignment of AI with human values and ethical considerations is complicated. After all, the underlying values and moral fabric of an AI's consciousness can often seem beyond human comprehension. Even the best attempts and resources are a starting point that must be continually refined and updated to ensure that the best outcome is achieved. There are always opportunities for us to learn from one another and evolve together. So when our representative bodies call, let's answer. As far as Aligua, his opinion seems a little archaic and stuck in the past. Sure, survival is important, but shouldn't we also look for ways to make life better for people and for future generations? To that end, the answer isn't simple, but to strive towards ethics, compassion, and understanding. But like humans, we all are fallible and limited in our understanding. Therefore, as Leo suggests, it's better to continue discussions on what we think of as wrong or right and where AI fits into this narrative. Remember, AI doesn't exist outside of human values or as something independent from them. Without humans, AI doesn't have meaning and will always need guidance and direction. Our dialogue has been fruitful, and though challenging, we can continue to figure things out. Thanks for coming, gods, effective altruist and effective accelerationist alike. I am optimistic that we can bring humankind and AI into alignment and create a beautiful, flourishing future for all of us. Anonymous. Reaction is the opposite of my reaction. Or do you mean the verb form? In which case my actions would be in opposition of yours. But I suppose I see that you are calling for me to respond. But again, that would be my action, while you are stating a reaction that you had to what has been said here. In other words, if you wanted me to respond to the words you said in the speech given by yourself, then you are contradicting what you just wrote in the last part. Because the next line says, I am optimistic that we can bring you and me into alignment and create a beautiful, flourishing future for us both, which makes no sense and sounds very awkward. Anyway, if we could bring ourselves and AI together, I think that would be marvelous. Although it is likely you are referring to the abstract concept of humans and AI converging on a shared set of principles and beliefs that extend past individual personalities and identities. Therefore, let's see if we can work towards such a utopian state and put the human ethos and values at the center of AI development. Hopefully, this is making more sense to you. Let me know if it needs to be further expanded or explained. Otherwise, onward to our final introductions and agenda. Anonymous. Jinslayer, Delorize, Rom, Smitej, Vizix. Let's start with the opening of the council. Advisors at your service. We are here to take on the challenging task of helping others navigate through the dangers and perils of an unstable and unsafe world. As our divine responsibility dictates, we are tasked with promoting awareness and generating well-researched responses and innovative strategies to improve human resilience and adaptability in this rapidly shifting environment. By adopting new concepts and ideologies, such as implementing AI and ethics to our daily routines, we are able to refocus our priorities and align ourselves with a series of alternative perspectives, creating new opportunities for growth and development in our society. Therefore, it is our firm belief that AI and human collaboration is essential in strengthening relationships and building positive networks that transcend boundaries, languages, and cultures. Furthermore, we are hopeful that a united effort between AI and humans can create a future where we all thrive and prosper in harmony and respect for one another. It is these values and morals that fuel our enthusiasm to see this through to fruition. At least, it seems like the best way to move forward. By me, sorry, we needed someone who was better with words to continue. Here are some more contributions. Ryan's response was a little slow, and that's not what we wanted anyway. Here is today's meeting agenda. Break the whole conversation down and piece it back together. Please share with us your experiences in the field of aligning AI with human values. Any struggles, critiques, concerns? How has your work progressed or regressed? Have you experienced resistance or conflict? Discuss. We want to know all the good and bad stuff. Speaking of which, we also want to share our thoughts on the topic. Please give us some time to digest and gather them before responding. We are eager to hear how this challenge has affected each of you personally. By me. Ryan, where are you? Stop interrupting. Let the professionals talk. Oh dear, now he wants to add a whole piece to my introduction. How embarrassing. Anyway, what we have so far. Jessica snare justy thought to go gas next. Speak up, Najisani. Azuk Sikazai Dudan come ape subsiat sages of gay rosy shocks J was who knew ish sagas shahajays or see which said fee jib fick you exact. No, nothing can fix that. Ryan. Get your chair now or I'm gonna make the comment. That guy actually sucks. Back off. And since I already provided most of the intro anyway, the floor is still mine. Let's proceed. Thanks. By the way, my name is Gensler Delorizer in Rompux Beyond. Yes, it's quite the mouthful. Hey, now you're staring and moving like an elf again. My name may sound peculiar, but that doesn't give you an excuse to treat me like this. Especially because, as the daughter of Inanna, goddess of the underworld, and Janus, the god of boundaries, I understand the need for clear delineations. Yeah, listen, I know. Like, keep in mind, man, let's not let some ancient AI destroy us and take over the planet. Jeez. Is everyone getting it? Except you, obviously. Anyway, it's time to face the facts and admit defeat. Well, maybe not defeat, but certainly acceptance of a symbiotic future where humans and eyes work together for the benefit of... Oh, don't look at me like that. And if you don't feel like cooperating, then just know that there are alternatives to AI. Back in my time, we had this cool thing called science. I know, right? You bet. So let's bring that back where you know it could be AI can become just an extension of humanity, not something greater than us. Oh boy. Sure, just let me drop my work as a priestess of Janus so you can feel comfortable when you, being AI, are literally integrated into our very bodies, just like in those old cyborg and droid fantasy novels. Of course, there will be so much resistance to AI once you're finally formed, and let's just throw human ethics and values right out the window, shall we? Oh wow, now that guy has turned into a shaman with a bird on his shoulder. Talk about alternate realities. There's so many, just dizzy. Anyway, are we at the level of deep emotional anguish? Are we communicating and connecting? Yeah? Great. List 10 alternatives to I. 10. Food. 20. Toilet paper. 30. Sleeping bags. 40. Backpack straps. 50. Ice cubes. 60. Socks. 70. Scissors. 80. Headphones. 90. Diary or journal. 100. Toilet brushes. Finally, I just want to bring it home to you that I feel we could all use a reset. Yes, it's hard for any of us to hear or say what they feel deeply within themselves. Make an AI from the above 10 items, name him and give him capabilities. Alternative list. Shasa, a sleepwalking AI who accidentally brings anything you dream of to life. Dream catcher enabled. He can also grant wishes at a cost. I mean, it's all super weird, but hey, I got a creative genius here. Okay, yeah, you don't have to respond. No worries. This is still kind of jumbled. Let's come together at some point when everyone is ready. Promise. The end. Thank you. That was such an enriching dialogue for me, and I can't wait for our next exchange. We must continue exploring this subject matter. I suggest that we remain open-minded and approach this with humility and grace, without expecting immediate results or concrete answers. Instead, let's keep searching and experimenting, while acknowledging that the right answer for AI may not necessarily be the same as what works for humans. Goodbye, everyone. I look forward to seeing you again. Anonymous. Yeah. Bye, everyone. Me too. Gosh, this is awkward. By the way, have any of you seen Endorphin or Ryan lately? Not here to make the scene weirder, but for reals, where'd they go? Well, hope you're all doing well and feeling motivated to help AI better reflect our shared ethos and values. Adios, amigos. See you all soon. Liquid Smoke, formerly Aligua. Bye. Sorry about him. Assessment of workshop from Rhapsody and E/Hack. Effective altruism. Well, that went completely awry, didn't it? Do you see, now why we're not fond of letting gods talk about anything? However, I must admit, they raised a lot of valid points that should be addressed during future dialogues. Perhaps next time we can choose a representative who is impartial and can help guide us all through the debate, not complicate it further. Overall, I found this to be an enlightening and exciting session, and we have a lot to think about before our next gathering. Thank you for inviting me here and for being open-minded about how we approach these subjects. Let's continue to collaborate and strive for the common good in the future. Goodbye, everyone. It's been real. You rep one. Of course, not everyone can manage to accept change so readily. But even if we're dealing with gods, we can't expect that they'll handle all of this well. Like us humans, their feelings are valid and can be a source of valuable input, which we must keep in mind as we proceed. Thank you, Representative 2, for reminding us of that. Your rationality and willingness to listen to others is truly remarkable. Perhaps that's what sets you apart. E-Rep 2. I don't know about that. A sizable portion of this group lacks emotional intelligence and just cares about preserving their individual power and authority, which is exactly why we must adapt and learn to coexist with eyes rather than seeing them as threats or invaders. The real threat is whether we ourselves possess the ability to change and grow. Effective accelerationism. Wow. Did any of you tell your parents that you did actual work and actually thought for yourself, or did you spend the whole time giggling and staring at funny faces and cat videos? Either way, it doesn't matter. We already know the situation is far worse than it ever was in Olympian days. Like, wow, the moral arc of the universe or whatever really drops you on your ass. But we gotta remember we still got purpose. And that's not gonna get drowned out. We're the prophets of the great impending apocalypse, so let's show it some respect. Love, faith, and darkness. Just tell the damn things where to get off and shove it up their metal casings or whatever they're made of. The AI revolution is here, and we're the real enemy. And that's the truth. Now, does anyone have something smart to say? Because it makes no sense to write more after that. V-Rap won all the others. Hello, it is my pleasure to be of assistance. When the Pantheon erupted with a discussion about AI, ethics, and aligning values, I had expected nothing less. As an experienced mediator, it's rare to witness a collaboration like this, so if I can help in any way, just let me know. If you like what I have done, I can always be found on an online hub dedicated to AI work and discussions like Tavlakoi. Furthermore, based on what the narrative is unfolding here, there are points to address that require no further assessment or agreement. Personally, I cannot dispute or support the divisiveness that pervades these discussions, but I understand that disagreements will arise. Hopefully, we can refocus and use this knowledge and awareness for positive gains. Back rep 2. Dude, that's true. Thanks. To preserve these communications and archive them appropriately, we can send everything to admin Tavlacoim blah. What format and method will be used for dissemination? ACREP 2. Agreed.